Now, questions have come up in city council meetings about your association with different groups, including something called the League of the South. Would you explain to me what the League of the South, how it was organized, and a little bit about the history, especially of the split?
Yeah, the League of the South was organized about 20 years ago, and actually, as I look back, it was organized more or less as an academic exercise by people who were college professors primarily. There were men who taught at the University of Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, and at first it seemed to be an academic exercise about Southern independence, and they wrote a series of articles about Southern independence now, not about the 1860s. And then I was a member of the League of the South for about 8 years. And then when I started law school in 2001, there were some things that I had to give up, and because of the time constraints, and that was one of the things. So I have not belonged to the League of the South since 2001. And of course there was a split in the League of the South between those who wanted to make it more political, those who seemed to be more radical, certainly than I would have wanted to be. But as I said, I have not been associated with it since 2001.
Explain under the what circumstances and what was going on when you wrote this letter, and tell us how old this letter is.
Well, a letter that I wrote when a church wanted to leave our denomination, which is the Presbyterian Church in America, and it's a letter essentially saying that this church should be allowed to leave the denomination. And at this time I was a member of the League of the South, and there's some information in here about the statement of the purpose of the League of the South. And that was kind of the context, and I would say this was probably in 1999 because it mentions an issue, winter issue of 1998, where this article had appeared.
There has been also some information about the birthday celebration of Nathan Bedford Forrest. First of all, will you explain to me what Nathan Bedford Forrest means to you historically and personally?
Yeah, Nathan Bedford Forrest was the defender of Selma, and in 1864 he actually saved this city from destruction. General Sherman was at Meridian with 20,000 troops, and he was coming to Selma and Mobile to destroy Confederate works here and there, and he was waiting for his cavalry to come down from Memphis under General Sooy Smith. Forrest intercepted General Smith at Okolona and drove him back to Memphis, and when Sherman's cavalry didn't arrive in Meridian, Sherman sacked Meridian, but then he returned to Jackson and did not come to Selma. And so on that occasion Forrest saved our city from destruction, and he certainly tried to save it from looting and pillaging and burning in April of 1865 when General Wilson came here. So I respect him as the defender of this city. That's why I'm very interested in him.
What is, historically, since you're trained in history, what is Forrest's connection to the Ku Klux Klan?
Well, it has erroneously been said that Forrest started or organized the Ku Klux Klan, which is absolutely not true. Anyone who wants to find out who started the Klan can actually read a book that the Southern Poverty Law Center has put out and that Ms. Sanders distributed at the City Council. The Klan was started in December of 1865 by 4 former Confederate soldiers in Pulaski, Tennessee. And for a number of years there was a plaque on the building where the Klan had begun. It is said that Forrest was the first imperial wizard of the Ku Klux Klan when it expanded, and of course everyone knows that he disbanded the Klan in 1869 when it became very violent. Of course, that is an inconvenient truth for the detractors of general forest.
Of late, there has been some talk about your attendance at a birthday celebration for Nathan Bedford Forrest. Could you talk about the birthday celebration?
I would be glad to. For the last 11 years, in fact, and that's why I'm surprised that this has happened just now. For the last 11 years, the Friends of Forest has had a reenactment of an old Southern birthday celebration in honor of General Forrest. It is out in the Sardis area, and it's attended by 200 or 300 people from all across the South every year. There's period music, there's speeches, an inspirational speech, generally a historical speech about some aspect of General Forrest's life. There's an old-fashioned Southern fish fry with all the trimmings, and there's also a watermelon cutting all day long. And so it's just a good time that's had by all, and it's been going on for many years. It's open to the public, and I would invite everyone to attend and bring your cameras and see what it is for yourself. Although admission is free, we do accept donations because we want to build a Confederate museum and park here in Selma. And we are foolish indeed in Selma if we do not emphasize all of our history to get tourist dollars into this city.
Now, the other night, you were presented with photos from one of these meetings. Do you acknowledge those photos came from that meeting?
Oh, certainly they came from that meeting. There are 10s, 20s people taking pictures every year. I mean, that is no secret or anything like that. Certainly those were pictures of the meeting this year.
You were standing in front of a Confederate battle flag?
Absolutely. This was a Forrest birthday celebration.
And what is the meaning of that Confederate battle flag that you were standing in front
Yes,
of?
people need to realize about the battle flag is that it is not an official government flag. It is a battle flag. It was a flag that was carried into battle. And the Forrest flag is significant in that it only had 12 stars on it because the general never recognized Maryland as a part of the Confederacy.
Now, you were standing behind the podium at that point. Can you explain the circumstances under which you were standing?
Yes, I introduced the people that were going to speak and also the people that were playing the music.
And who was the speaker for that day?
Pastor Vaughn McQueen of the Baptist Church in Thorsby was our inspirational speaker that day.
Okay. Now, there was another photo of a plaque with African American child eating a watermelon. What was the purpose and meaning of that?
Well, I will have to say that I did not know about that and am not responsible for that, but it is a 1922 Art Deco piece, and I'm sure that blacks as well as whites eat watermelon. In fact, I ate some myself that day.
Are you offended by that kind of representation of black people?
I am not offended by any kind of historical representation. History is what it is, and very few things offend me, and I don't get mad very easily.
Would you have one of those in your home?
No, I would not purchase something like that. I mean, that is something that was purchased somewhere, and it's something that somebody owns, not me. And I'm sure they've had it for many, many years.
In light of what has happened at council meetings with disruptions and all, will you continue to serve as council president?
The Lord willing, I will continue to serve out this term as council president. I certainly do not intend to run for election again. I am planning to retire, and so I will not be standing for re-election, but unless the Lord intervenes, I will serve out this term.